Hey everybody, welcome to Unit 2. It's Multiplying with Fractions Day 1. Today we are going to use pictures and diagrams to find the product, the answer of a times problem for a whole number and a fraction. Let's get to it. We're going to start by making an easier problem, making connections to things we already know. In this example, Ryan wants to give 5 cookies to each of his 3 friends. So here's friend number 1, smiling. Yay, cookies! He gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cookies. Great. Here's friend number 2. Woohoo, cookies! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each of them have 5. And then friend number 3. Everybody loves cookies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So the question is, how many cookies will Ryan need? And this problem is pretty simple. You might not even need a picture for this. Right? But the point of this isn't to get the answer to the problem, it's to think about what this problem means, right? So this problem is about equal sets and groups. There are 5 cookies in the first cloud, there are 5 cookies in the second cloud, and there are 5 cookies in the third cloud, right? So how many groups were there? There were 3 groups. 1, 2, 3. There were 3 clouds. How many were in each group? How many in each group? 5 cookies, 5 cookies, and 5 cookies. So this picture shows, we're looking down here in this kind of gold color, this picture shows 3 groups of 5 cookies. So we're going to call that 3 times 5. Not 5 times 3, because it's 3 groups of 5, we're going to call that 3 times 5. And then a quick note, when you're reading a multiplication problem, you can replace the times, the X symbol, with of, if the problem is about equal groups, right? So 3 groups of 5, right? Instead of 3 times 5. Knowing that, we can get to a 6th grade version of this problem. In this problem, Seth, like the nicest kid ever, wants to give each of his 4 friends, this time each friend is getting 2/5 of a pizza. Wow! We want to know how much pizza altogether, how much pizza will he give away, right? So if you are a friend of Seth, I'll draw you here, extra happy, you get 2 of these 5. You'd get this one, and you'd get this one, right? So Seth is going to do that for his 4 friends. Here we go. I'm going to model this problem. I'm going to say friend 1 in blue gets 2, 1, 2. Friend purple gets 2. Friend red gets 2. Friend brown gets 2. So going back to this problem, right? Looking at this picture, what does the 4 represent? It represents the 4 friends. In this case, in my picture, the smiley faces, right? You'd be smiling too if you got pizza, right? But what about the 2/5? If the 4 represented the friends, then the 2/5 represents the amount of pizza that each friend gets, right? In this case, we could call them slices. 2 slices, and you need 5 to make a whole pizza. But here's the big question. How would we represent this problem in a multiplication number sense? We've got 2 different ways to do this. I want you to recognize that this number in front, this 4 here, refers to how many times it's repeated, how many equal groups. And the next number, the 2/5, I'll grab green here, the 2/5 here represents the number in each group. Each kid got 2 slices out of the 5. So if I want to know the answer, which is how much is he going to need, then instead of counting these all up separately, we need to count them together. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Seth is going to need 8 slices, and it takes 5 to make a whole. Now, I think this answer, 8/5 pizzas, is really confusing. So something that we often do in math is we rearrange our thinking. So I want you to notice again that there are 8 slices here. There are 8 slices down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But now I can see that this is a whole pizza, and this is 3 out of the 5 slices we need, which means we could say that 4 groups of 2/5 is a whole and 3/5. If you can have mental pictures for what is happening in these problems, they make a lot more sense than just start timesing numbers, right? Let's try another one. Wait, before we do, how was this problem like the cookie problem? We're repeatedly making equal groups. In the first one, it was 1, 2, 3 clouds that looked the same. In the second example, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of pizza that represented the 4 kids who were getting equal amounts. That's what makes this a multiplication problem. Anytime you are repeatedly making equal groups, you have multiplication. This time it says 3 times 2/3. So again, instead of calling it times, I'm going to call that groups of. 3 groups of 2/3. So what does the 3 represent? It represents the number of groups. Sometimes you want to call that the number of repeats. How many times you are going to draw the same thing over and over. So what does the 2/3 represent? It represents the size of each group, right? So you can imagine in this top one, we'll make it bigger this time. Here is your part. You get 2/3. This is the first time that I have drawn 2/3. 1. Here's the next time that I'm drawing 2/3. Right? I colored in 2 out of 3. So there's the second time. And then the third time, because I want 3 groups of 2/3, here's the third time I'm coloring in 2/3. I have 3 repeats, 3 groups of 2/3. So if I want to know how much I have all together, I can count the individual pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and write that as a fraction. I have 6 parts, and there are 3 in each whole. Or, and some of you might have already noticed this, we could take these red parts down below, and we could move them, right? So I'm going to take the number 5, and I'm going to move it right up here. So this is part 5. Okay, put it there, right? And part 6 we'll put up here, and then I'll get rid of the 5 and the 6 on the bottom because we're moving them. Now you can see, now that they're gone, that we've actually made 2 whole rectangles. The trick to understanding what multiplying fractions means is to actually have a picture of what's going on. I have a picture in my head. You're going to start by doing a picture on your paper. Your in-class assignment looks like this. You can find it on the 2.1.2 shelf in the classroom. Please don't forget to watch the video in the Schoology 2.12 folder if you want help getting started. Find that assignment. It will help you get started on this paper.